Learn how to add shadow and depth to your pen illustrations with line shading and cross-hatching. Hey friends, welcome back. My name is Shayda and I love to draw in pen. So today I'm going to share some examples of how I approach line shading. Now we're going to use two Pigma Micron pens, the 05 and the 02, and these numbers refer to the nib size, so they give you a lot of precision. And I'll start with the 05 to do my contour drawing. I'm going to do a flower as my example, so we'll do two petals, one on the top, one on the bottom, then two more on the sides. And then maybe we'll tuck some more in each corner there. So 8 petals and that big scribbly stamen in the middle. And then I might even add a couple leaves. Now we'll take our smaller Pigma Micron, the 02 nib, and we'll start to add the line shading. And what you're thinking about when you're adding lines is keeping the lines going in the direction of the shape. So think of the shape of each petal, and you want to add lines that kind of add to the look of the petal and the shape of it. Then we're going to think about the light. So maybe in these corners where the petals meet, there's not as much light. So we're going to add shading there. The flower is a little bit concave, so we're going to add shading near the stamen. And then we're also going to add some lines that indicate the texture and shape of the petals. So some lines to show that these petals are curling and curving and are maybe even a little ruffled on the edges. I'll add shading to my leaves, and let's talk about line spacing when you're shading. Keep the lines close together for a dark look and separate them more to give a lighter shading. What I'm doing here is assuming that the flower is casting a shadow onto those leaves, so I'm darkening them at the top. Okay, this all seems like a lot, so let's back it up and do a little practice. I'm going to draw a rectangle, and then we're going to shade it from left to right, going dark to light. And so you can see I'm placing the lines on the left very close together, and I've spaced them much wider on the right. So these little rectangles are a great way to do some line shading practice. I'm drawing a second rectangle here and shading it from dark to light, but this time we're going to try cross-hatching. And cross-hatching is just the act of drawing lines at an angle to one another. So basically doing a crisscross, and you can do the same thing where a tightly spaced crisscross will look really dark and a wider spaced one will give you a lighter shadow. Let's do a simple example doodle. So I'm going to draw like a little backpack purse. Very simple. We'll give it a flap and a little handle, maybe some tassels. And then I want to think about where my light source is. Now you as the artist choose. I'm going to put my light source in the upper left. That means it's light over here and it'll be darker on the bottom right. So light on the top left, darker on the bottom right. And that means I might want to add some line shading along the bottom. And maybe on the inside of this handle, the light isn't going to hit as easily. And definitely under this flap, I think we would have a bit of shadow. Add some lines to show the shape, maybe do a little bit of cross-hatching if you want, and that's it. We'll do another example together. This time I'm going to draw a succulent, so I'm starting with the plant pot. I always do the same examples, little succulents, and we'll give this guy a bunch of little arms. So let's put the light source in the same spot, the top left, and you choose that as the artist. Where's your light coming from? That means over here on the bottom right, it's going to be more shadow, darker. So under the lip of the flower pot, I will do some line shading where there's shadow. And then on the bottom side of all these appendages, all these chubby little arms, I'll do my line shading, my shadow. What am I saying? And then I'm doing some spotting to make them look cute. So that's it, guys. Line shading is all about choosing your light source, spacing your lines accordingly, and just practicing it. So get yourself some good pens and a sketchbook and try it out. Thanks for watching this Shayda short. Don't forget to subscribe.